KIT Morning News, Dave Lance, Jackson, and you on this beautiful, beautiful day. And you know, it's gotta be weird. We have Dave McKinney in the studio. Dave's not weird. Maybe a little bit weird, but he does crazy stuff like, for the goodness and the sake of others, he lives in a cardboard box once inhabited by the likes of Dale Carpenter. That's the kind of guy he is.
That's right.
But it must be weird when you wake up and you look out and you see this beautiful world and know the blessings of being here and all of that, and yet you think that in your own family, your own niece is in a life and death struggle that really only has one way to go, and it's because of this really strange disease we're going to talk about right now. It's the Vivian Rose Weaver Defeat DIPG Foundation, and Dave's niece, with your sister Katie's daughter, yes?
That's right.
Does she have other kids?
Yeah, they also have
Lucy, right?
Lucy is almost a year old.
Right, and imagine dealing with the baby and the 3-year-old and the 3-year-olds now. And I don't mean to be impolite, but basically she's dealing with a death sentence, isn't she, at this stage of the game?
That's really what it seems like at this point,
yeah.
Dave. In February, Vivian had been diagnosed with a brain tumor after her parents realized that she was having some simple trouble with vision and her motor skills, some balance issues as she was playing on the playground. They went in and had an MRI and discovered this tumor that has been growing inside of her brain, on her brain stem.
At the worst place possible in terms of being able to deal with, right?
Right. It's just deep in the core of the brain, on the pons, which is an area that helps control motor functions, everything from our movement to our breathing. So eventually, with all systems still intact,
her brain,
right? I mean, she's completely mentally aware, but eventually she'll suffocate.
Oh, jeez. I mean, it's the only thing that I can liken it to is like ALS, people that are sharp until the end, and their body just sells them out and slowly deteriorates. Here's the thing: it's got a weird name, diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, I think that's correct. I say it, DIPG, deadliest form of brain cancer. Now, here's the thing: you guys, you're not going down without a fight. People know the McKinney family in Yakima and know, they fix broken things. That's what you guys, your family has done for years, right?
Right, that's what we do.
That's what they do. And so you've started fundraising. You've raised a lot of money, even had $1 million donation. How breathtakingly amazing was that?
It was a pretty amazing gift that we've been given to help fund research, and that's really what it's all about, right? So science is finally catching up to a point that allows us to do the research, but it's just severely underfunded.
Right, it's one of the lowest funded, and given the outcomes and the precious nature of who it affects, it seems like we ought to be pouring some more resources into here to. But progress has been made, I understand.
Well, progress is being made in a variety of fronts. There is some really interesting things going on scientifically right now that is going to help, we believe, find a cure for this type of tumor, the most aggressive and the most mysterious type of brainstem tumor that we believe will have effects on other types of cancers and other types of tumors downstream, which is kind of typically the idea of where people are going with these types of ideas. So,
and just a matter of it's not coming fast enough because we're not getting the money into the system fast enough. So we'd like to raise some more money. What have you guys been doing, and what can the community do in terms of joining you in? Because I would assume this is a sort of thing that could show up in anybody's family. It's pretty rare, but there's no reason that it couldn't, right?
Right. So this affects somewhere between 200 and 400 kids in the United States every single year. So there is research being done all over the world, right, that's affecting this in kids in Europe and in other places.
Right.
So Katie and Simon decided to open a chapter and co-found the Vivian Rose Weaver Defeat DIPG Foundation, which is part of a larger foundation started several years ago by a couple back in Washington, D.C. Their son, Michael Mosier, also was afflicted by this, and like almost every other child, has passed away from it. So this foundation is being advised by a group of kind of the top pediatric oncologists in the country, as they are looking at grant requests and looking at where this money should go to fund the right research.
Got to target it right. If you're not getting as much as we'd like, then you better make dang good use of that which you do get, right?
Right. So we're not raising money to provide care for Vivian. We're okay with that. What we're really trying to do is to build awareness of this disease as we fight to bring funds to fund the research. So in addition to the $1 million gift which we've received, we've also been able to put together another $160,000 of donations. As we have a goal for this year is a total of $2 million. So we're well on our way, but we need everyone's help.
Sure. How best can they do that?
So I think the right way to do that is that they can Google Vivian Rose Weaver, and there they'll find a website. And on that website is a way to donate to the foundation, which will take that money again and put it in the hands of the scientific advisory board.
Sure.
And get the money to the right people that are doing the right types of research with the most promise.
How's your sister doing?
You know, I think as well as really could be expected. They've got a really amazing outlook, and as they're pouring so much effort into this foundation and learning more about things, they've reconciled that this is their fate in life, right? And which is, I think, the first step. And
you got to stop fighting it because it's the reality now. What do you do with it? Right?
Yeah, right. And so put all that effort and all that energy into doing the most good that you can. You know, I think that they're Simon and Katie both have a very strong faith, and they look at it from the standpoint that they're not going to potentially recognize how Vivian's life is touching others' lives. The oncologists that they run into, or whoever it might be in that sphere, that if Vivian's life, how that fits in with God's plan. They might not ever see the results of it, but they know that there's going to be a positive impact in life based on that. So they've got a very good understanding of where they are in all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a thread of connection to everybody's story, and if it's the right one, it can pay miracle dividends down the road, well past you're right, people's ability to really understand it and see it. So
yeah. VivianRoseDIPG.org is the specific website.
You want to scare up 2 million. It can be done. People can go to the website, find out more about the story. I know. I just know that you have a beautiful family yourself, Dave. You really do. We love your wife. She is the best.
Well, thank you.
We might have known her before you when she came on our show all those times.
I know you did.
I think you did. Amanda is super, and you got great kids. And I know as the kind of caring person that we know you to be by what you do with your own time, I wouldn't think anything less than you'd be in the thick of calling to gather people around and to try to do some good here. So the money goes to research, grossly underfunded. We need to help. Progress has been made, and it's encouraging, but not enough and not fast enough. And we need to do more so that the other Vivians of the world can have perhaps a different story or a different track. If you know the McKinneys from their connection to Yakima all these years, maybe some of you went to school with Katie, know her family, but don't know the story. This is a Yakima story, Dave. You guys are a name that everybody knows in Yakima. You are a Yakima story, and this is. I appreciate you coming on with us and talking about this, and we pray for the best for your family and your extended family, and for Vivian's future. But the best thing we all can do, prayer is great. Prayer and a check is better. So if we can get folks to get to the website, check it out, and find a way to help fund. Anything you want to leave our great KIT audience with, David?
I know them to be incredibly generous, and
For
the
sure.
people of the Yakima Valley to be incredibly generous. This is while it's a bit of a selfish story where we're looking for a cure for Vivian, we're unlikely to find it in her very short lifetime. But what we do want to do is to prevent this from happening to other families. Our family knows what it's like to already lose a young child, and we don't want others to go through that. So I'm grateful for that you take the time to do things like this, to invite me to come and participate here today, and I'm grateful for all that you do for us as well.
Amen, brother. Say hi to your family for us.
will.
Wish the best for Katie and Yakima. Dave is absolutely right. If we are amazed by anything in this town, it's by how repeatedly your generosity just blows us away. So if we can help get this rolling, if you've got family and friends around the country, this is a Yakima case, but this is a disease that's out there and in the world, and it seems just to be a horrendous circumstance for the youngest of our kids. We need to do what we can do about it, and we can demonstrate God's hand in all of this by taking action. So, David McKinney, thanks very much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks,
and
Lance.
we hope to see you again under happier times, okay? You're tuned to The Source, News Talk 1280 KIT, the morning news.